Man, what is this on my screen? I think I got some dog. Um, yeah, I got some garbage on my screen, man. Get this off of here. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's FFDev here, and today in this video, we're going to be bringing you devlog 3. Going to be showing you guys a little something. What we got here, also on top of that, don't be like the T-Man. Before we get started, just don't be like the T-Man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Alright. So what we did here, this devlog is going to be kind of short, is we added in a map editor finally. It's not completely finished, but I think I got enough stuff to show off for a third devlog. And what I did was I kept it in its own file. Like, I was iffy about putting it in the map tools file here, where you can open files, you know, create the map. But with that being said, you know, everything right here works. Wasn't sure how far I was going to expand upon the map editor, because if I keep going with it for a while, I want the map editor to be pretty good. So just to keep things simple, I'll put the map editor in its own class. And I'll show you a few little things about it. So basically, like when you create a map, like for the map editor, you're wanting to be able to, basically I'll explain what it is first. Is when it's fully finished, you're going to be able to open up a map editor window, like after you import your sprites from a sprite, or your tile set from like a sprite, pixel edit, whatever software you're using. You do need to have each tile separated by itself before importing it. But once you get it in there, when you create your map, you just say how big you want the X size to be and the Y size to be for the map. When you do this, yeah, it still is going to be a rectangular map. It can either be square or rectangular. And you pass in the texture manager, which you will load in, you know, reference to it, where you'll load all your sprites that way, your sprite textures. And after you get it loaded, what I'm doing for now, because I don't have it completely finished, we'll be changing this with some inputs and stuff once it's completely done. But basically, we create a sprite vector array, which is just going to be a vector of it's an array of vectors that hold sprites, and then just a sprite vector, which just holds sprites. And right now I'm just using a default sprite with a default texture for now, which that will be changed to a temp one for whenever you're actually selecting whichever one you want. But by default we'll load the default one, and then it just makes sure it's set to whichever one you're using to begin with. Probably will actually leave this like this for now. When it draws, it'll draw the default texture, and then you'll use the controls to change which sprite you want to use and paint over. But basically, it starts at 0, 0 on the coordinates of the top left-hand side of the screen, and then continues that way. We got 2 for loops, and not going into too much detail, just to make sure every time that the first for loop clears, it clears the sprite vector, which holds sprites. And then when it goes into the second for loop, it takes the position and multiplies it by the tile size, which you can set in the header file, because I'm using 64 by 64 as the default tile size, but it doesn't matter, because the way I set it up, you can just always change it here, depending on what size you want the map to be, or what size your tile set is. It pushes it back as it goes through, and then increases the position by 1, so that makes sure it goes from left to right. And then after it's finished, it's gonna push that entire vector back to the vector of vectors, and then increase the Y position by 1 and set the X back to 0. And continues until the map is completely done. Then it clears the sprite map, to make sure that the map that we're currently loading for it, that's the file we're using, make sure there's nothing in it, and then we set it to the sprite vector array. And all that basically does is just stores it. And what I did here, which is really convenient, I'll show you guys will probably love, because I know how it can be a little time consuming and a little annoying sometimes, like how we did the in the bomb game. I still have the bomb game here, but how you had to draw the entire you know, you had to do for loops to set it to do the draw calls and everything. Well, I added a draw map function, which was pretty awesome for having the map editor by itself in its own class. I had this function here which takes in a reference to your window, and this will handle all the drawing for you, which I'm going to I'm going to end up putting in some optimization features. When it's done, right now there's no optimization, and then this right here just returns the map. But if I show you like the simplicity of it, also I'll just go ahead and show you something else. I got the state manager up and working. So right now we're in a pause state. So now I can hit F1, F2 to pause, F1, F2. So now we can handle different states really easily with our state manager, which I'm going to have a different state manager for like entities, which can go for the player, you know, or them, but this is more of just a, there's nothing to the class. It's just an enum class where you can handle states of the game and for different things like menus and whatnot, but I'll definitely be sure to add different ones for the player or entities so you can have more controls on what they do and what happens. But that's all that there is on this part right now, and I just was using this as an example. But the last thing that I really got to show in this devlog that I added, let's see, this right here. This is how easy it is with that draw function to draw the map. Is you just type in map editor, draw a map right now, which it'll be a little different than that. You won't, when it gets done, you're not going to be using the map editor when you're completely done to draw the map, because I'm going to have it exported to a file, and you're going to be creating your map from that file, kind of like you did the other one. Let me see where it's at, if I can scroll up. Which, it'll be kind of not like that, that's just us creating the map. But basically, you're going to be loading the map using a function. That's alright, it'll be about like this. But the whole little cool thing about how I did that, like me opening stuff I don't need to open, closing source files, whatnot. Oh well, I'll fix that in a minute. But anyways, where was it at? Yeah, with just this draw map function, you don't have to like memorize and do for loops for it to draw your map, because all that's done for you, just pass in a reference to the window. And right now this is just the default texture, like I really didn't need any. It's 64 by 64. And it's just got a little bit, just got the logo in the middle, like just a really quick drawn one. And that was it. That was all that there is to this, and I'm going to be finishing this up and getting in a really good state today. But I figured I'd just give you guys an update. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already. Comment below on what features I should bring. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.